Looking forward to it, bro.
Whether you like it or not, we are live. How about you, everybody? Welcome into this week's edition of the Auburn Live call-in show. I'm your host, Jeffrey Lee, Senior Recruiting Editor for Auburn Live on 3. Today is Sunday, September 24th, 2023. 24 hours after Auburn went to A&M and lost 27-10, dropping their Power 5 record to 1-1. Lucky not to be 0-2. I am going to get to the phone lines as quickly as possible tonight. I know we got some guys itching, ready. Give us a call, 701-779-9585. I got two big dogs here, three if you count Zach in the back, to help me talk to you all about it. Mr. Jhead, Mr. Cole Pinkston. How about you, fellas?
How about you?
How about you? All right. We're going to get to as many calls as we can tonight. It seems to be a popular show after a loss. Look here, Zach in the back's already come to the front. We're going to get to those calls ASAP, but first we got to talk about this 5-star realtor. If you're looking for a home in or around Auburn, Opelika, folks, look no further for some help. Her name is Jessica Andrews. She is with the Talents Group. Give her a call, 334-704-4442. She can find you something to buy. She can network. She knows where it is. She knows the good buy. She knows where everything is. She knows where the bodies are buried. She's also a fantastic selling agent. Give her a call, man, 334-704-4442. Jessica Andrews with the Talents Group. And tell her we sent you. Yeah, it would help us out. All right, Zach, you've come in hot, big dog. You ready? Phone lines.
Yep, already got 2 or 3 callers on the line.
Let's go. Let's go. I have
thoughts,
started here. Yeah, I have thoughts, but it would take 30 minutes to get my thoughts out. So let's go straight to the phone lines.
5960. There he is. No introduction. Best way to open up the show. You're
there
live.
He is. Kid Country, how about you, big dog? Yeah, hit that mute.
How y'all doing?
Hey,
welcome to the show, man.
There he is. Uh-oh.
We might have lost him.
Oh, Alvin. Hey, you know what? Do we even need a POW this week? I feel like we don't even need.
No, I think we got more than enough to drive the show.
I agree. If you want to tell me if you drink out of a straw at a restaurant, go ahead. If not, no big deal. Personally, I don't. I got a funny story about that too.
There is one other participant in the conference.
Show yourself.
We'll get him to call back. We'll go to 6275. You're live. Who we talking to? Where are you calling from? (6275). You're live.
Hello.
There we go.
How you doing?
How about you?
I call in and talk to y'all every week. I mean, I don't call in. I got a buddy of mine that call in and talk to y'all every week.
Who is he?
You might know him. Edward from Selma.
We just lost this call, big dog.
Yeah.
I heard it while watching. I'm gonna cover a little ground for him. It'll be the same conversation. You probably understand where you get a lot of conversations because we chit chat every week.
What is your name?
All my life.
What's your name, big dog?
I'm gonna tell you like this. I've seen enough of all of them. I'm talking about they go for Payton Thorne, Rod Ashford. If the ship goes tank and burn, give me Holden Grinder. I told Ed from day one, that's if he's my best passing quarterback, and I got a bunch of receivers over there. And that's what I need. I got a good ground game. I need somebody to get the ball to my receivers. Payton Thorne, that's fine. I told Ed when he first committed to us, the same way I felt about TJ Finley. Everybody rooted for TJ because he came from LSU, but I said the same way I don't like a 50% passer.
Mm-hmm.
Same way you throw touchdowns, that means if you throw 20 interceptions, that's no good to me. 66, 63, I can live with. But this going down and take that up, you literally killing my defense. my defense go out there and fight for you all day in 100-degree temperature. And all you can do is come out with a 3 and out. He looked like a deer with headlights. I'm talking about, and it's not an indictment on him because you took a gamble. You took a gamble and you brought the guy in that you thought, but he's not the guy. And like I told Ed in that show when y'all said he'll be the quarterback for the rest of the year, I guarantee he will not make it. He'd be good to make it another 3 games. Let him start the Georgia game. And let him really see what big boy football is about. And once that's over, you make a decision. But because I do not need to lose Holden Garner behind me. I've seen enough not to lose the talent that I haven't even witnessed on the field. The best 4 minutes of the game was in the fourth quarter with 4 minutes on the clock. Holden, yeah, you missed a few, but yeah, that's expected. I've been on the sideline 3.5 quarters.
Okay, I've got Josh CRBT on the corner asked pretty much the same question. Who are we talking to, Big Dog? What was your name?
Well, my name is Ron. My name is Ron from Montgomery.
Ron from
Ed is my brother. We work together. We used to work together at Hyundai.
Okay.
Oh,
All right. Ron, let me ask you this, and Josh, like I said, from the corner. Okay, I hear what you're saying about Garner. Like, get him some snaps, get him some experience for the future, right? You're playing for the future. But what if what if you thinks Peyton Thorne is the future? He's still got a year and a half. Are you just cashing because Peyton Thorne's been on campus for about three days? I mean, he's had 15 practices before the season to run this offense. He's now had 3 weeks of game preparations and stuff to run this offense. So he hasn't had a lot of experience here. He's pretty wet behind the ears when it comes to this offense. I can't believe I'm defending Peyton Thorne, and I'm not.
I understand.
I'm just saying. If Peyton Thorne is your quarterback next year, do you want him to get as much experience now so that he'll be able to lead this team next year? Jhead, you're about to laugh through the freaking screen, Big Dog. I'm just throwing a thing out there, man. Hey, listen, I got dogged. Remember when Peyton Thorne led Auburn in rushing and passing last week against Stanford? And I was like, he still hasn't showed me anything that he's not unbeatable. And people on the corner were like, "Oh my God, dude! Did you see that game, Jeffrey? He threw for 200. I mean, how much? What do you want?" I'm like, dude, he hasn't shown me that he is absolutely concrete starter. I'm sorry.
And Jay Lee, look, and I'm the one that said TBD. You actually said, yeah, he's the guy.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But I understand your viewpoint because he hasn't. I'm the one that really they should have been coming after. And look, I feel like we're a little justified in that take in that what you saw against Texas A&M. But let's get back to our caller here. What do you have to say to Jay Lee's kind of devil's advocate?
There you go. Do you want Garner to get in there, or do you think it's justifiable by Hugh Freeze to get Peyton Thorne as much experience as possible so that he's ready to lead this team a little bit better next year?
Well, what I say about that is, if you've been in a school and you was a starter for 2 years and you threw for 3,000 yards passing, the only point I have is I watched Jay Felton run a wheel route and no pressure on him. And you clearly, I'm talking about these are simple things that worry me. A wheel route. I'm talking about these are things that don't need fixing. Robbie Ashman may need that fixed with him. You know, Robbie Ashman may need his mechanics worked on, but Peyton Thorne, I brought you in here because, okay, I can understand the pressure on you. But a wheel route, I'm talking about that's a touchdown.
Yeah.
He left 2 touchdowns on the field. Peyton Thorne did.
You know what I'm saying? You're missing simple throws. You threw for 3,000 yards. I shouldn't have to train you to make a simple throw. If I'm going to retrain you how to throw a wheel route or back shoulder fade, I might as well start with Holden Garner.
Ron, hey, I am so right there with you because this is what I thought about on my way back today. I'd watched the game for the second time today, and I'm going, man, all Auburn needed at A&M Saturday was a serviceable quarterback. I don't want you to drop, in the bucket over the shoulder where only the offense. I don't need that guy. Auburn needed on Saturday was a serviceable quarterback who could hit wide open receivers, and that is a completely different ball game. Cole, we talked. There was a Jay Fair touchdown. I had at least 2 touchdowns Peyton Thorne missed. Should have been TDs. If you had a serviceable quarterback who could hit wide open receivers, Auburn's up, I think, 20-13 at one point.
Well, if nothing else, Auburn goes up by a point with that touchdown. And just think about how much that could change the game.
I don't need nobody to be a hero, but even if you don't have to throw for 3,000, you didn't have to throw for 300 yards that game for me. I need you. My running game is good enough. If you can make the short, intermediate passes, then every now you got running backs that they're coming up to the line for where you can hit those. I'm talking about we didn't have a. I got so disgusted. We didn't have 50 yards passing. I think we might have caught 2 passes in the first half. And when Holden came in the game, the last 4 minutes, you rusted, but you can. Even though you overshot a couple of guys, but once you settle in, the pass that you made to the receivers, they was able to catch them.
I feel you, Ron.
Ooh. Hey, I'm just being straight up because we can say the O-line's not doing good. Texas A&M got a good defense.
They do.
Texas A&M got a good defense. But what I like about Holden Garner from day one, that I liked from the first time I seen him in the 8A game, that was better than any quarterback that I've seen in the last few years at Auburn, the ball leave his hand fast and smooth. And if he had a bunch of reps where he controlled that offense, I don't need you to run the ball, Holden Garner. You know what I need you to do? Throw the ball. That's what I got you here for. RPO. They said Philip Montgomery worked with quarterbacks that wasn't mobile. Okay, this is one that you need to work with. He fix offense around him. He can get the ball to the receivers. We have too many running backs. We have a running game. Just teach the line to block for Holden. He'll get the ball out fast. And I'm just frustrated.
I hear you. And look, you're not alone in that. I think anybody that watched that game walks away frustrated. And look, your take is milder and better than most that I've seen. And a lot of that is out of frustration.
I know the game.
Yeah, because of the way that, Auburn has played these last 2 years, and fans are just kind of tired of seeing the same thing over and over again. So I get it, but I appreciate a call like yours where you're like trying to provide a solution, a realistic solution as to potentially what the issue may be. So I appreciate.
Make no mistake. I'm not saying, and I'm gonna give Peyton Thorne. I'm not gonna beat him down so much neither now, because see, a lot of people, if you don't know sports, you'll beat a kid down in the ground. But to his credit, he just got there at the end of summer. And not just that you get there at the end of summer, that's a new offense for Robert, Holden, and him, and you made it there in summer. So I don't think that you should have got the starting nod.
I hear you, Ron. I'm curious.
I'm just saying how I feel.
I'm curious to see if you're not alone here. But hey, Ron, don't be a stranger, big dog. Don't be a stranger. Appreciate your call, big dog.
I'll be calling you back, buddy.
Cool. We'll look forward to it, Ron. Appreciate you, buddy. Keep us going, Zach.
5960. We're back.
There he is.
You're live.
What's going on, fellas?
Calling about that steak dinner already, Edward.
Man, it's hard to follow up behind my right hand man, Mr. Ron, man. Mr. Ron, we used to have these conversations daily. Well, we still have these conversations daily. So
I would love to be a fly on the wall for those conversations.
Oh man, we have them, man. We've been had a 2-hour conversation a day.
Edward, I remember you liking Holden Garner, man.
Man, I do. But I'm not here to beat Mr. Thorne down. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to beat a kid down. I got a son his age. I will say this. Thorne is uncomfortable in the offense, and the coach is uncomfortable with Thorne. Thorne showed Hugh, even in fall camp, when he said he was pressing, these words. I gave him the start. I went on a name and started in hopes that was keep him from pressing. He was never comfortable then. We 4 games into this thing now. And what I'm seeing is he's still uncomfortable. I'm not just saying just throw him to the wolves, but is he truly our best option going forward? I told y'all a couple weeks ago, I seen a scenario where Peyton wasn't going to be the starter at Auburn and somebody was going to come in. I said Robin. I still think it's going to be Robin.
Yeah.
I still think it's going to be Robin. I like Holden. But let's not make no mistakes about it. This was a bigger loss than just Thorne. Don't put this all on Thorne. It was bad protection at times. It was just bad offense. There was some bad coaching on offense at times. There was some bad play calling on offense at times. Michael Jackson made a song a long time ago, guys. He said, I'm looking at the man in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
See, now this is when this whole offensive side of the ball in Auburn, from Hugh Freeze all the way down the roster. Somebody got to look at the man in the mirror this week and decide on. One thing I give Gus credit. Gus will start out like this every so often. Every so many years, he'll start out just like this. But you always hear Gus say, we got to find our identity. Because in his mind, he knew, I'm going to run this football at all costs. I'm going to find a way to run this football. It's time to figure out what can we do? Who can we do that with? If we can't do everything, let's not try to do everything. Because if you bring Holden in, well, Holden, what are you comfortable with right now? And we build on that. Robbie, what are you comfortable with right now? Thorne, what are you comfortable with right now? To me, they're just throwing mess off the wall. I ain't going to say it on your show, but they just throwing stuff off the wall, Sarah. Mm-hmm. And when there's opportunity to make plays, Camden Brown, you got to catch that ball, baby. I need 11 guys on the field that giving me max effort. Shane Hooks,
yeah.
You're not a max effort player. Hugh even said that in the press conference. You look like Tarzan playing like James, baby. That pass that Robbie throw to you, you go get that ball. You go get that ball. That's a 6'4" receiver. If you talking about going to the next level, you got to make that play, man. I think we brought in a bunch of guys out of Porter out of necessity, and now we find out a lot of those guys just not SEC caliber players, and they misevaluated a lot of guys. Let's just tell it what it is, because you rubbed me the wrong way last week. What I don't need you to do is go on that podium and come out and tell me we got talent deficiencies. Because all the Auburn fans, guess what? We follow recruiting. We know what we got on our team. We know what A&M got, but we don't want to hear that. We didn't bring you here to hear that. It's your job to coach what's on this team. That's what we paying you for. We didn't lose that game because of talent. We lost that game because of poor execution and poor coaching. That's what lost us that game. Appalachian State wasn't a better team than them last year. Guess what? This same Auburn team with Robert Ashford, that quarterback, they didn't have the talent that they had last year. But they found this one game. You find a way to win one game. Now I want to hear y'all talk, man. I done said enough, man.
Appreciate you, big dog. I don't know, man. There was a lot to unpack there. Jhead, you got something to say.
Well, I think a lot of what Edward said is right. I agree with everything he said, except for his I guess, disagreement with Hugh being transparent on where the talent level is on this team right now. I think that was smart. And Edward speaking from a point of knowledge, because I think our subscribers on our site and other message board sites are your 10% of the fan base that's truly invested and understands what talent acquisition is and where the team really is. And then you got a lot of people that just come to the game that don't truly know. And I think that's who that message was for. Is for the boosters to be transparent. And this is where we are right now. Don't expect better, to the general fan that's coming and, providing their dollar, not to the message board guys that are more invested in this than most. I do think talent played a large portion in the way this game played out. I think A&M's front seven is as good as anybody in the country, and they showed it. I think Auburn's offensive line is not as good as I anticipated that it was, and it showed on tape. Yes, there were things schematically and play calling wise we could have done better. There's no question. But execution, to me, it's a marriage thing, right? We didn't execute, so that goes to the talent aspect of it, as much as it was, bad play calling and or bad coaching. So all the way around, it wasn't a great game. I can't point the finger at one more than the other, but the talent discrepancy between the two absolutely played a factor in the outcome of that game.
Hey, Cole, I was thinking about you, man. Against Cal, I didn't think the play calling was great. And the only reason I said that was because nothing worked. What I saw against A&M, I wasn't giving anybody an A+ for play calling, but I saw those coaches put those kids in enough opportunity. They gave them enough opportunity to be successful, and those kids failed them. Whether it was a wrong route or missing wide open guys or dropping passes, there were enough situations those coaches put them in to have success. And maybe they're just not talented enough to take advantage of that. I'd like to think Peyton Thorne is talented enough to hit a wide open guy to read defenses. I mean, his Cole, if y'all haven't gone Auburn Live on 3 in the corner, go read Cole's play-by-play breakdown of this game. I watched the game again today, Cole, and I went through there with your drive charts. I thought it was fantastic. Very eye-opening, very, very informative. Go check that out at Auburn Live on 3. But I saw what you were seeing for the second. I got to see through your eyes what was happening. And hey, you would say, hey, this was a bad play call. Who to blame? Blame Thorne here. Blame Montgomery here. That was a terrible play call. Blame Hunter here. He didn't pick up the blitz. Blame Avery Jones. I thought it was fantastic. So where do you sit, Cole? We haven't even really gotten to hear your thoughts.
I think number one, most of you who have listened to us, you know that I was pretty high on Peyton Thorne coming in. 6,000 yards, guys. You don't just throw for 6,000 yards and no, he's an incompetent quarterback. He can't play. That doesn't happen, guys.
Right.
You're talking about the Big Ten. It's no slouch. Okay. Something at Auburn, in my opinion, is the problem. I think the competition's a little better. Yes. My biggest thing on this is there is some kind of discrepancy between Peyton Thorne's skill set, his mind, and the offensive system right now. That's what I think the problem is. He for whatever reason, there is not a good mesh with some of these reads they're asking him to make.
Mm-hmm.
I think that a few of the pass protection reps were really bad, but I thought there was plenty of time for him to throw the ball on some of them.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is, and this is where everybody is going to be wrong at some point and right at some point, because there is somebody different to blame on every play almost. A lot of the times it was Thorne. Sometimes it's the play calling. Sometimes it's the scheme. Sometimes it was the offensive line. Sometimes it was one guy on the offensive line. All right. That's why I do the play script. Number one, I need it. Okay. I got to have it to be able to talk to y'all and explain to y'all what's going on. I have to. It's for me. And it's also, for those of you who are into it like me, and you got to know what's wrong. Mm-hmm. I can't stand it. I can't go on very long not knowing what's wrong. I won't sleep. I have to know. Okay. So I need to know who to blame. I need to know who to give credit to, because, hey, by the way, there's people to give credit to too.
Yep.
Cole, can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
Well, I was doing some research after the game this weekend. How much better do you think his supporting cast on that 2021 Michigan State team was compared to Auburn? Because I look at Jaden Reed, Keon Coleman, Kenneth Walker, and that was that year that the offensive line, they were rotating 11 guys on that offensive line each game. Wow. They had one of the best O-lines in the country. How much do you think that helped Peyton Thorne have that? What was it, 3,200 yards, almost 30 touchdowns. That was his best year. Do you feel like his supporting cast kind of helped prop him up a little bit? And he doesn't have that at Auburn.
Yeah, it 100% did. I mean, Keon Coleman, you see what he's doing at Florida State right now. That guy's a freak. Okay. But look, I have a problem with there's a lot of thinking involved right now. There's a lot of pre-snap decisions, not as many post-snap decisions, but when you get into these drop back passes, it's a lot of, I mean, you got to be right. Okay. And I'm talking about you got to be right in picking which progression you throw to. You got to be right in how you stand in the pocket. It's all got to be right. There aren't any single man. Look, you go back and watch Hugh Freeze in Ole Miss. You will see him throw the back shoulder and the single matchup to Laquan Treadwell, Cody Core, all these guys that they had, DK Metcalf, whoever, okay, until the defense is about to throw up. He did it so much. I saw so many opportunities for that against Texas A&M where they had a safety in the middle of the field. There's nothing they can do to get out there and stop a single matchup, and they're not giving it to Thorne for whatever reason, or he's not doing it. That part I'm confused about. I don't know whose decision that is. But it's got to stop because that makes everything easier for everybody. Hey, single matchup. You're not reading anything. You're throwing it to him. Put it in the right place. Right? All right. Javarius Johnson, he beats his guy on a single matchup. Peyton Thorne's looking at the other side of the field because that's his read. He did the right thing. The very next play, and it was the next drive with Robbie Ashford, they go with the same play, throw it deep to Javarius Johnson. He doesn't catch it. And Ashford threw a dime.
Yeah, he did.
Okay. So that's the kind of stuff. Too little, too late with some of the play calling, in my opinion.
Cole, do you think, and then we got to get back to the phone lines. You mentioned Cody Core and Laquan Treadwell and multiple other receivers that really were high-end SEC caliber guys. Do we have the guys to make those kind of plays on the outside, in your opinion? Because I watched Shane Hooks absolutely drop a touchdown pass that he should have caught.
Shane Hooks has been inconsistent. Who's not inconsistent with his hands is Fairweather. He's pretty good. And throwing a flat shoot route to him where he's got to make somebody miss. I don't like that. Not a fan of that. Throw him the single matchup. Hey, if you put him out wide, guess what? A corner has to cover him. A smaller corner. Why are they making it so difficult? Some things they're not making difficult. I want to give credit to that. But some things it's like trying to nail Jell-O to a tree. I mean, what in the world?
One more. I have never been a fan of meshing systems. How much of that do you think is involved in this?
Even though you're not a fan of it, I don't think enough, personally.
Okay.
I want more Hugh Freeze influence because I think the Hugh Freeze influence is the RPO game and the single man shots. And I'm not seeing enough of it. Now, the RPO game was taken away by A&M. Very good. Hey, let's give them a little bit of credit too.
Absolutely, you should.
I mean, come on. Don't be centric here if you're an Auburn fan. There's other things going on around you here. Okay, Texas A&M had a very good defensive game plan against Auburn. They took the RPO away. That was the only thing Thorne was good at against Sanford. They took it away. They said, all right, he was good at this. We're taking that. Let's see what else you can do. Nothing. Give them some credit.
All right, Zach, keep us going, big dog.
8030. You're live. Who we talking to? Where you calling from?
Cole scared him away.
Sorry.
8030.
Hello?
You're live.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What is up?
How about you?
Can y'all hear me?
We can.
You can.
Who we got on the line?
What's up, y'all? It's Walker White. It's Walker White.
Hey,
Hey.
there he is.
All right.
What's up, boys?
Mr. Official Visit on deck.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's this weekend.
Walker, man, as the potential quarterback of the future, dude, what are your thoughts, man? What are your thoughts on what you've seen so far?
And you know, it's obviously frustrating to see Auburn struggle, but the thing is, I do know that the offensive coaches, I believe in them. I believe that what they teach, and at the end of the day, you just gotta trust their experience and their minds. I know I do. That's why I picked Auburn, and other guys like Jesse Stone, Kent Austin, all those guys. I believe that they'll prepare me enough to be able to have success. I think it's just a lack of execution. I think y'all were talking about how y'all believe this system isn't right for Peyton. And, you know, you just got to find that comfortability in it. And I think, you know, he's a great quarterback, and I don't have any doubts in him. I just think he just needs to get comfortable and find a rhythm. That's the biggest thing about being a quarterback. Once you find a rhythm, you can you get a little bit more comfortable in your feet and your shoes, and you start to play true to who you are. So I believe they're very close to being a winning team, and they just gotta bring it all together.
I think, Walker, Cole talked about this earlier in the show, but at no point when you're watching Peyton Thorne, and I don't have any doubts the guy's a great quarterback. I really don't. But at no point in
6,000 yards.
6,000 yards!
6,000.
People. At no point did he ever look comfortable. Walker, and yeah. I said this at the beginning of the show, dude. He arrived in like late summer. He had 15 practices before the season started. You know, he's had 15 since it started. So he's had a total of 30 practices in this new system with all these new guys. It's the fourth game of the season, and I'm not making excuses here, but do you think Peyton Thorne is going to look this way in game 8? Like,
I don't think so.
I don't either.
I believe he'll figure it out. I believe he'll find it within himself. I think he'll just begin to understand, okay, this is the pattern of like what they're supposed to do. I believe I had that struggle with my offensive coordinator, just finding a rhythm, because we introduced kind of a new offense this year, and it takes a little bit to get used to it and what our goals is. And you know, I think he'll get it together. Personally, he's smart. What I've heard most about him is how much he prepares and how smart and intelligent he is about the game of football. And when he puts that together with just finding a rhythm and being comfortable, I think he'll look like a completely different quarterback game 8.
Walker, take us through the eyes of a quarterback here. We saw Peyton Thorne miss some open guys. I mean, and not miss them, but it's almost a misread, right, Cole? He's not seeing them. He's not. Yeah. So, do you think it's complicated because he hasn't been in the system very long? Do you think Hugh Freeze and Coach Montgomery have maybe dialed it back for him and given him like a one read? Like, you know, like there was I think it was a crossing pattern early in the game, and I think Hooks did a 10 or 12 yard hook. Then you had somebody coming across him. He like threw it over the guy on the crossing pattern and underneath, in between or in front of the other guy. Nobody was even around that. But even though I think it was RG3 who is terrible. God, I can't listen to another RG3 commentated game. I'm sorry. But like, do you think it's a one read? Do you think he's simplified it? Is that possible so that he's not seeing some of these other people?
It's 100% possible. I think with me and my offensive coordinator, I'm just speaking on personal experience. Sometimes we would do too much, and we've had to simplify it to, all right, what's our primary check down, and then where do I go from there? Usually that's my feet. I know that'll change in college, but I think if I remember right, I mean, Coach Freeze and Montgomery's, their offense is a full field progression pattern. And, you just gotta. I remember watching a video of Coach Freeze coaching their quarterbacks do these like read drills where he takes his drop and holds there for a second, and Coach Freeze was preaching being patient with each read and then going to the read, looking at the full field. And I think it's 100% possible that they might have simplified it. Did they? I don't know.
Right. Sure.
I mean, I really don't know exactly their game plan going into each week for Peyton, or really what his strengths and weaknesses are. But you can't count it out, especially because it's a new system, and he, just like you said, he hasn't had a whole lot of time to get to know these guys and get fluid and comfortable with the system. So it being his reads being simplified is for sure an option.
Walker, let me ask you this, man. Obviously, there's criticism being thrown around after a game like that. Auburn's passionate, dude. That's just kind of how it goes when these games happen. I want to know though. I've gone back and looked through the game. They schemed open a lot of things, I thought, with the play calling.
Mm-hmm.
How encouraging is that to you?
Yeah.
Did you see the same thing?
I did. I was watching this game, and there was a lot of guys open, and I think a couple missed touchdowns, like on the sidelines. I know there was a missed pass on the sideline for a dude that was like no one was within 10 yards of him. So it's encouraging to see that there was some of the calls that were just being like spot on.
Mm-hmm.
You just got to capitalize on those plays that are free and given, and we're not capitalizing right now. But I think we'll figure it out for sure.
And we know you trust Hugh Freeze, you trust Philip Montgomery, Jesse Stone, all these guys that are involved with the offense. But I mean, I was impressed by some of the things that they schemed open. They got in trips and did some things there. I thought they opened things up a lot more. I mean, what is your opinion of the offense so far? Do you like the scheme and all this? Are you encouraged by what you're seeing?
Yeah, so I think what I've learned about my game is one of my biggest strengths is RPO, and I love being able to make a defender do one or the other, because in the RPO game, it's fun because the conflict player, the defender you're trying to pick on, whatever decision he makes, he's going to be wrong. In the RPO, if he crashes, you're going to dump it to the guy and replace where you were. Or if he stays out there, that's one less guy in the box. And so I love that idea of it. It just, I mean, like we've all seen, it just hasn't been getting executed perfectly. And so, I mean, it looks like the offense is struggling, but I think there's just a disconnect somewhere, like y'all were talking about. But I think, Coach Freeze and Coach Montgomery are smart enough to call to their quarterback's strengths. And if I get there and they see that I have a strength somewhere and a weakness somewhere, I think they're smart enough to stay away from the weakness and let's play to the strengths. And that's what it's all about. It's playing to your kids' strengths and getting the ball in the right player's hands. And with this recruiting class coming in, guys like Perry, Bryce, Malcolm, and hopefully Cam and Nikar, I mean, that would just be huge to have so many weapons. And Marion Burnett with a power back in the backfield. I mean, Martavius Collins, who's just elusive and great route runner, great hands. I think we're just getting the right weapons. But I just, I do trust Coach Freeze, like you were talking about, Coach Freeze and Montgomery, and I think they'll play to their players' strengths. We just got to see more execution, and I think we will.
Walker, real quick, man, last thing for me, I appreciate you calling in, but you've got an official visit coming up this weekend. I think you're one of 7. Let me check. KJ Bolden's coming in. Jeremiah Beeman's coming in. Joseph Phillips, Walker White, that's you. Favor Edwin, D'Angelo Barber. So a lot of Laquan Robinson's coming in. So a lot of official visitors, including yourself, and then several dozen unofficial visitors, including Nikar. You mentioned him. He just decommitted from Georgia earlier tonight. He's coming on an unofficial visit. So what are you hoping to get out of your official visit this weekend?
Honestly, I believe I'm just going to be there with a mindset of enjoying the experience. This is going to be my only official visit. I've never been to an Auburn game. I've only heard good things about it. And with all these athletes coming in, I just, I want the experience to be so special for them as well, to see how passionate Auburn fans are and how great of a fan base it is. And just like the atmosphere, like some of us will be able to play in, and it's just like such a blessing. It's really cool. I just want to see it for myself. I'm very excited for that. And hopefully it'll be a good game. I mean, it's prime time. Georgia, it's going to be rowdy.
What time's kickoff?
I believe the coaches will put together a great game plan.
2:30.
And I'm just very excited for the experience and to be on the plains once more, be around the coaches and talk to some athletes, including Nakar and KJ Bolden. I think that will be a great opportunity to capitalize on some of those athletes.
Well, Walker, we always appreciate your call, man, your insight. Also, man, get with your coach on Max Preps. Your stats are all messed up. There's 2 different 2023 seasons. Yeah, man, make that happen. I'm going to tell your dad that the other day. Somebody's going to have to fix that because this threw me all off. I have no idea what's going on.
Okay. All right. Yes, sir. That sounds good.
Walker, hey, listen, tell your mom and dad we said hello. We appreciate y'all. Y'all have a safe trip in this weekend. We'll see how it goes on Sunday.
Yes, sir. War Eagle.
All right, buddy. Thanks.
War Eagle, buddy.
Listen, before we go any further, real quick, this is a mulligan season, folks. Okay?
Yes.
Listen, I know everybody wants to see success right away. They want to see competent teams in the first half of the season. This is a completely overhauled roster. I'm just as guilty as anybody. I expect the simple plays to be made, but listen, big picture here. The most important thing this season, Cole, is winning the living room.
Hey,
winning the living room, big dog. It is.
Jeffrey, you know what this is all a product of? People being that passionate about a loss like that. Guys, we're talking about game 4 of the Hugh Freeze era.
A whole new era. After the Brian Harston era.
The first SEC game.
Do you know, I did some stats. Do you know Alabama fans were talking this way about Nick Saban back in 2007? Do you know just 6 years ago, Georgia fans were almost calling for Kirby's head after he lost to Georgia Tech to finish 7-6?
Yes.
Sorry, 7. Lost to Vanderbilt. Obviously, Saban lost to La Monroe. But do you know what they did the very next February? Nick Saban signed the #1 class in the country. Kirby Smart signed the #3 class in the country, and it was off. And if things continue this way, by the way, I'm down to 6-6. If we're asking, my prediction had been 75. I'm at 6-6 right now. But the most important thing is that recruiting class, Walker White's recruiting class. These recruits coming in: Perry Thompson, DeMarcus Riddick, Walker White, all those cats, dude. You finished with the top 8 for Auburn. That's a damn top 3 for Alabama and Georgia, right? I mean, that's almost a steal.
And that's what I was going to say real quick. And Jhead, I want to get to you too. I think Hugh Freeze created a little bit of pressure for himself. I really do, because he comes in and he recruits as good as Auburn's recruited in a long time.
By building all this excitement before
Guys,
the season.
The transfer portal. Okay, yeah. with Brian Harston,
he did so well.
You'd see Auburn offer a guy on Twitter, and you'd be like, okay, all right. And then Florida State would come in. You go, that's it. Not getting him. Forget it. With Hugh Freeze, it was like, all right, he offered. Oh, wow, he's on campus today. Oh, wow, that guy's on campus. Oh, my gosh, he committed. It happened like that with the transfer portal. Guys that other big schools wanted. Okay, a lot of guys that other big schools wanted. Not to mention, you flip a Georgia commit, you flip a Bama commit, you get all these 4 stars. You got a 78% blue chip rating on all 3 right now.
#1.
That's #1. So everybody gets excited, build up the season. Oh my gosh, it's a new era. There's a Freeze coming, all this, right?
You get a quarterback who's passed for 6,000 yards.
6,000. Hey, I'll say this again. Fans are unreasonable. All right, doesn't mean they're wrong.
As Keith Niebuhr would say, it's short for fanatic for a reason.
Yes. Unreasonable. You're unreasonable. You're unreasonable. It happens. Okay. I can be unreasonable. We can all be unreasonable. You got to understand what's going on. Okay. If this happens for every single game this season, if the offense looks like that, you got a problem.
Yes.
Okay. You got to give them a shot. You got to give them a shot to get it right.
I could not agree more, Cole. And I think, look, on this show, I have been consistent, as have you guys. The most important thing is bowl eligibility, 6-6, 7-5, and a top 12 to 10 recruiting class. That is what this staff needed to do. That is what they were capable of doing this year. And I'm not punting on 7-5 because of the schedule. Look, we always said that this schedule was going to boil down to starting at the Ole Miss game, right? Like once you won your non-conference games, starting at the Ole Miss game, this is where the season really begins for this team.
You're exactly right.
And can you find 2 victories right there? Or 2 to 3?
2 SEC victories.
Okay, right. Can you find 2 SEC victories right there? You've got Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Vanderbilt, Arkansas. Can you get 2 out of 4 games? If you can get 2 out of 4 with New Mexico State still left on your schedule, that's what you were trying to accomplish, right?
That's 6.
Yep.
That's 6.
Yep. That's why I think I'm at 6.
I still, real quick, and I know we got.
Shit, I forgot about the phone. Yeah, I forgot about the phone.
Real quick though, I
Walker
still
got us talking, man.
Oh, he did. That was a great call too.
Yes.
I still go back to the comment that Freeze made. Hey, I need to be in those offensive meetings a little bit more. Why? Because where's he been? Recruiting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He ain't been on the golf course.
Look, I made this point on the board, and there's going to be some disagreement here. I don't care. I don't care. Bring it. I'm grown. There is only so many hours in the day. I know how much he's being paid. I got that. But you cannot just put all of your effort into play calling and recruiting. Doesn't work that way. Okay? No. Does not work that way. He's been putting a lot of emphasis in recruiting. It's paying off. If he gets a couple years at Auburn and the recruiting is like it is, I think you're going to be okay. I really do. Maybe the play calling in the first couple of games is not the number one priority. Maybe it's not. I'm just saying. I don't know for sure. I'm just saying.
I think you got to win enough, Cole. You've got to win enough to keep the recruiting class you've got intact and be able to add a few others. I do not think you can go through another 4 or 5 games looking the way we looked yesterday. That's not going to fly, and that's not going to be attractive to recruits. But I'm with you.
Please look at Hogbone's comment.
Oh, I don't know if I can pull that one up, but yeah.
See what you can do. But I'm with you that it is very important. Talent acquisition is the number one thing. It is the number one thing.
That's right.
It has to be there.
I'm not buying it, Jhead. Not buying it.
Not buying what?
This season should have no effect on that signing class.
I think if you get sub 5 and 7, it does.
Okay. Yeah, if you implode, sure.
I think if the offense looks like that every week, it does.
Yeah, I agree.
That's got to improve.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, you're not beating Mississippi State looking like that. I'm optimistic that Peyton Thorne will start making those throws. I'm optimistic Peyton Thorne will start making those reads. And if you listen to Walker White, it's comfort. Cole said it. Once he gets comfortable, maybe it takes him another 2 weeks. Maybe it takes him 3 weeks. I don't know. But if he starts making those throws and if he starts making those reads, dude, Auburn wins by 6 at A&M.
I agree. And look, what else I'm comfortable in is I honestly believe Robbie Ashford can beat Mississippi State and Vanderbilt. Look, if it's not working with Peyton Thorne, I think Robbie Ashford can absolutely win those games. And that's the point to me is that I still don't know if Peyton's the guy going forward. I don't. I don't know if he can get where he needs to be in this offense.
How can you look like UMass and Sanford and then look like Cal? How can that be the same person?
Well, especially because Cal, I want to say Washington quadrupled Auburn's total offense.
They gave up, Washington scored 75 or something in the first half. They're bad. Cal's bad.
It is.
They're not good.
No. But I also think their offense is better. I think Auburn's defense absolutely checked them because they put up 35 points on Washington as well. So there is some of that.
That's
Maybe
a bright spot.
Yeah, the defense is a little bit better than anybody anticipated, and I was very worried about the defense coming into the season, which was misplaced. Talent acquisition, number one. I don't think there's any which way you can discredit that, and I think that you have to be open to other windows of adding talent, which is through the JUCO and through the portal. I don't think that you need to get one-sided, and it only needs to come from the high school ranks. So either which way, you have to raise the floor in a lot of different areas. But let's get to the other 4 callers we got on the line right now.
8466. You're live. Who we talking to? Where are you calling from?
What's up, man? This is Eric from Sheffield.
What's up, Eric from Sheffield? Thanks for holding on the line, big dog. We had the diarrhea of the mouth, man.
No, it's all right, brother. I understand.
Talk to us, big dog. Eric.
My first question, this kind of goes back to what Cole was saying. Other than Arkansas State, what does Gus, Freeze, and Harsin have in common? Like as far as the concept, and the reason I'm asking this stupid question is it's mind-boggling. We can go through 3 head coaches, 10 offensive coordinators, 10 different quarterbacks, and still have the same damn problems.
Ain't that the truth?
I feel like Cole was kind of searching for something in common with it. Now, I know he said maybe it's just an Auburn thing, like maybe we're jinxed. And that's kind of where I'm at. It just blows my mind.
Cole is the scheme with Gus and Freeze. Obviously, there's a lot of similarities, right? I thought Harsin was more of an I formation guy, right? Multiple looks.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's some similarities for sure. I think that they fixed one thing though this week. You probably remembered seeing all these shifts and motions and things like that. That was because they were loosening up the box. They started off with 4 receivers. This is what Gus would do that used to drive me crazy. He would put 2 tight ends in the game, have an H-back in the game, whatever, and he ain't getting out of it. He doesn't care if they got 17 in the box. He's going to stay in it. At least Hugh Freeze has the awareness to go, all right, we got to loosen that box up. How are we going to do it? They got together this week and they said,
the difference. I ain't mean to cut you off, Carl.
No, go ahead.
Because Gus was stuck on that power run game. He wanted.
That's right.
But I see a lot of difference in their offenses. I think Freeze has real passing routes. I think I don't know. I think he has more than go 5 yards and turn right if you're not open, take off running quarterback. And I was a Gus guy, man. I mean, I'm just to be 40 years old, and the majority of my great memories of Auburn was Gus. So I don't agree with him offensively, everything, but he gave me some big moments. So I love Gus.
Good for you.
I love Freeze, man. I'm all about him. I just can't figure it out how I just don't know how we keep ending up here. I'll leave that one alone, Cole. If you find anything there, you put it on the board. I'll look at it. I'll talk about the QBs real quick before I get off. I do want to say one thing. Hooks, I've never seen a wide receiver with hands that great that can't catch the ball with his body. If it touches anywhere on his body, he's dropping it. But if it's away from his body,
Ricardo Lewis.
He's got to make a great catch. It's like 90% of the time.
Well, great point. Yeah. Cole said, Eric, he said he reminds me of Ricardo Lewis.
Ricardo Lewis was that guy.
Yeah.
Or even, what was it? Sammy Coates. He catched the deep ball in quadruple coverage, but if you threw him a slant, it hit him in the face and he wouldn't see it.
That's right.
I know it. And I know our quarterbacks didn't play well. The wide receivers got to make some of those plays. The one that Brown dropped was big.
I agree.
It was right when we was falling apart. But I'll go on. Oh, and my boy, I'm gonna hate on my boy right quick. I know you're going to the NFL, and I don't know if you're making business decisions. I love our defense. They're playing way past their potential. They're playing out of their minds.
But my boy DJ is making some business decisions out there, so.
His tackling was atrocious.
Yeah, he made a couple of business decisions out there. I believe he didn't want to. I believe he was thinking about that money on the table.
Good stuff, Eric. It's a great call, big dog.
Oh, well, let me run through the quarterback right quick.
All right, go ahead. Go for it.
I know my man Edward said that he couldn't put all of it on Thorne, and I'm definitely not here to pile on Thorne. I wanted him to be the starter every game up until this point. And I don't doubt he's the best quarterback, but he's shook, and he was shook before the first snap. He can't operate like that, and that missed wheel route changed the game, in my opinion. They was never scared of our pass offense, but they was worried about their pass defense.
Yeah, and
when he missed that throw, they looked at each other on the sidelines. They pinned their ears back every play after that and just came after us. And the O-line eventually got overwhelmed. I mean, he was seeing ghosts back there, in my opinion. And I think he killed the momentum of everything in that game. And it's a business now, man. He's got paid. I know. I'm not trying to be rough on the kid. And I think he could come back from it. But I honestly believe Robbie deserves a game plan built around him coming into Georgia, and I think that he needs to start. And if it wasn't for Georgia, I would say put Holden out there. But until Thorne fixes his confidence, and Jay Lee, I agree with you, and I agree with Walker. And Walker, I love that call, man. I'm glad you're still with us, but every recruit still thinking like you are. But I agree with the confidence thing. But guys, we're 1/3 through the season. It was a red flag when we was in a competition, and he made Thorne the starter to help his confidence. That let us know that he really wouldn't win in the job. He thought the confidence. And then look, we're 1/3 through the season. We're still working on his confidence. I don't know that you can start with that. But I love y'all guys, man. I'll get off and let y'all talk. I know y'all got a lot of callers on. And,
appreciate you, Eric. Fantastic call, man.
Hey.
He made reference to this, but I thought the most disrespectful thing I've ever seen, at least this year, was Jimbo declined the holding. He took the penalty on 3rd and 10. It was going to be 4th and 10. He was like, "No, back him up." It was 3rd and 25. He gave him another shot. Make him throw it.
Jeffrey, can I say something real quick before we go there? The wheel route that everybody's talking about, it's a wheel or it's kind of like an out and up.
Out and up, yeah.
That's kind of what it was, like a double move route. So go to my play script. The play before that play. Guess what? Jay Fair was open. He was open on the out and up. Now, what happened on that play? Peyton Thorne dumped it off to Fairweather in the flats. He got 3 yards. Okay. I don't really blame him so much for that because that was what they were trying to do. But he had that above it because he wanted to see how they were going to cover it. And then he comes back to it on the next play. Guess what? You complete that pass at 6. That's what tells me I like the play calling, okay? I am happy with that. That was a great assessment in the box.
Yeah.
By Philip Montgomery. He said, Jay Fair got open on that play. Let's do it again, but on the other side of the formation. Touchdown if you complete it.
Hey, I remember what the points on the other points on the board were. It was 4th and 1. Peyton Thorne did a naked boot. He went helicopter. He got the first down. Did y'all happen to look up and see the tight end running free? Wide ass open. Yeah. But he got the first down.
Yeah. One problem with that play there, Jeffrey.
There weren't anybody downfield.
Coy Moore was blocking downfield on the
he was, wasn't he?
So there were 2 wide receivers that would look like tight ends. There was
it's like a bootleg pass, right? A waggle, whatever you want to call it. And they had those options.
So Coy was blocking on the sidelines or over here on the outside?
Coy was the single receiver on the play side. He's blocking downfield.
So that would have went for 6 and they would have called it back.
Probably, yeah. Because he didn't run a route. I don't know if he got the wrong. I'm not sure. That play confuses me a lot.
That was bizarre.
They were waving them. They were wide open.
I think it was Tyler Fromm, I believe.
It was Luke Deal and Brandon Frazier.
That's what I said. Exactly.
This is why I do the play
Two
thing, guys.
lumberjacks running downfield. I hear you on that one.
4'9", 4'7". You're live. Who are we talking to? Where you calling? Where you calling from?
How about you, fellas?
Oh, Scott Underwood.
Hey, this is Ward Dank Eagle. How you guys doing tonight?
Oh, never mind.
Oh,
we're dank.
Yeah, you can use your imagination there. Hey, I haven't heard you ask a shower etiquette question in a while. Could I put my 2 cents in on that?
Please, dank.
I'm a bare hands guy. I don't know how y'all feel about that, but that's the reality of the situation.
I'm okay with it if you shower, if you're the only one who showers in there and uses that soap. And as Leon Washington said, white folks don't use washcloths.
Well, I am the only person in my shower, so I guess
there you go.
That'd be okay.
Back when I was single, dude, I rocked the hands too, big dog.
Do you pee in the shower too?
Of course.
Oh my God! It's the purpose, Dank. What do? You probably get out onto the bath mat too, huh?
No.
You put a towel down?
Let's keep it civil. Hey guys, my question. It's really it's a question, but it's also kind of a metaphor. Have you guys? It's about the quarter sit back situation. I don't know if any of y'all are South Park fans, but have y'all ever seen the episode where the kids have to vote on a new school mascot? And that's choose between a giant douche and a turd sandwich.
Yes, I've seen it.
Oh, okay. Well, I think that kind of speaks to our situation. So, look, with it, I think that's our quarterback situation right now. We got a lot of people on one side, a lot of people on the other. I'm kind of just asking, hey, we got an independent party in Holden Gurner. Why not just go with him and hope for the best?
He's the unknown right now, right? So you've seen enough of Robbie to know you don't want him. You've seen enough of Peyton Thorne to know you don't want him. So what is the easiest thing to do? Put the freshman in.
Yep.
Put the freshman in who couldn't beat out these two guys.
The third string quarterback is always the most popular player on the team. On every college roster that is unsuccessful. Guaranteed.
I do have a question though, Wardank.
All right.
How do you know? I just want this answer. Okay. And look, I'm just asking a question. I don't mean anything by it. How do you know Peyton Thorne's not the guy after 4 games? I just, I think it's a good question.
You convince me that he could be the guy at this point.
Do you think it's time to pull him completely?
Like move him to second string duties.
Grab
a clipboard.
I'm not willing to say completely, but I think going into our next game, and it's very unfortunate that our next game is Georgia. But man, if we gotta play somebody, if we gotta start somebody against Georgia, I don't think it's him. I don't think it's Thorne. I'm one of these guys who lost all faith in Robbie after last year. I just didn't believe he could be an accomplished passer. But honestly, after what I saw yesterday, man, I've lost my hope in Thorne too. So I don't know where we go. But
I'm with you. That can't happen. The way he performed cannot happen again. It can't happen. But I'm also of the mindset that I just think with this trap you're in on the schedule right now, and it's a trap.
Yeah,
I just don't think you abandoned ship on that quite yet. That's just I may be wrong. I may be totally wrong. I'm talking to you in the comments.
Well, no, you know a lot more football than I've ever known. But dude, I don't think we're abandoning ship. I think we are trying to salvage the ship. I really do.
Trying to find the ship.
Right.
Yeah.
It abandoning from him may not be the way to do that right now. Now it may be in a game or two. I just don't think it's time.
I think the bye week is the time. If you're going to make a change, the bye week is 1 week away. You give him the Georgia game to see how he does. And look, you'll know very quickly if we're not moving the ball at all in the first half, you can change at that point to somebody else. I don't think there's anybody. I mean, look, what is it? Georgia minus 17 right now is the line.
Yeah.
So that tells you what Vegas thinks is about to happen in this game.
I thought it would be a lot more.
I thought it would be minus 24.
So
honestly.
What do you think that means? What do you think that line means? What are they giving Auburn credit for to make it a 17?
A touchdown at home.
Touchdown at home, and I don't think – look, Georgia's been a little shaky to this point. Look,
Auburn's got a good defense.
Auburn does have a good defense.
So you hold Georgia to, let's say, 35?
Right.
And Auburn scores 2 touchdowns? That's still not enough, is it?
No. But
my math, it worked out perfectly in my head.
I think they were not as impressive against South Carolina as most anticipated that they would be.
That was at home.
Yep, you gave up some points to UAB this past week.
Yep.
Trent Dilfer has had trouble scoring against pretty much everybody they played. So, I think they're thinking that Auburn will be better in Jordan Hare. And to his credit, Peyton Thorne has played better in Jordan Hare.
They have.
So, granted, it's 2 overmatched opponents that we completely overwhelmed with our athleticism and skill talent. That said, it's a different story in our play. So I anticipate this team will play better, and I do think Peyton Thorne is going to be the starter in that game. And then I think if he's not performing up to expectation or taking what is available to him, the coaching staff will make a move, and I think they'll probably make a move in the bye week to somebody. Who that is, I have no idea. I would anticipate it being Robbie since he's listed as the number 2 quarterback right now on the roster. I don't think they're going to skip number 2 and go all the way to number 3. Though I get the fan base's frustration and wanting to see what they've yet to truly see. And I understand that. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. He doesn't have any flaws. You don't know what he is just yet. If this is what we're going to look like, let's go with the young guy. I get all that. But I do think you have to have faith in the coaching staff of them putting the guy out there they think gives it, whether they're the best quarterback or not, they give you the best opportunity to win. That's what I believe.
That's some good stuff, Dank. We appreciate you calling, big dog. Puff, puff, pass.
6940. You're live. Who we talking to? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Alex Byers. First time caller out of Moulton, Alabama.
What's up, Alex? Out of Moulton?
Seen you on Twitter.
Yeah, I tweet in there now and then. Usually I ain't big on the calling in, but I figured I'd do it because I just want to get y'all's input on the O-line. It looked like pass pro was pretty weak. I don't know what y'all thought.
I thought at times it was a little unfair because they were very blitz heavy and they were bringing more than we had the ability to pick up. I mean, I don't think you're wrong to be critical of some of the pass sets where we absolutely had some issues at times. I thought Avery Jones had a really tough matchup and a tough game against McKinley Jackson. But overall, it wasn't the worst I've ever seen. It wasn't the best I've ever seen.
Yeah, I understand that because I remember when I played quarterback, it'll get you nervous sitting back there if you know your own line can't block.
I bet. I wouldn't know. I was the O lineman.
It's a scary feeling sitting back there in the pocket, and I kind of seen it in Thorne. He just looked scared. He was rattled. He couldn't make the easy throws. Yeah, I just wonder what y'all thought about it. But that's all, folks. I'll let y'all get back to it though.
Good stuff, Alex. Don't be a stranger, big dog.
Yeah, good call.
All right, I'll see y'all.
Cole, your opinion on the pass set?
I got a couple of bad reps altogether. Called out a couple guys on the play script there for a couple missed assignments and just getting beat 1 or 2 times. But some of it is on the quarterback.
Yeah,
I truly believe. They actually changed up the protections a few times to help him out, and I thought that was very good. So, there's some good things and bad things there, but I think more good than bad. I do. Yeah. Because again, the front you went against. That was a good little test. It's not like he got sacked 6 times, and he didn't ever leave the pocket, okay? This is not like Bo Nix where he leaves the pocket every time, and he's going to extend the play, right? So if you're standing in the pocket, like he's not a statue, but standing in the pocket, and you only get sacked 6 times, it's not quite as bad as it seems. And it honestly really isn't.
Look, I thought we were playing 4 fronts this year. When I kind of looked at the preseason schedule and what everybody had, I thought we were playing 4 fronts this year that were really going to give us fits. A&M was the first one of those. LSU is going to be the next, and then Georgia and obviously Alabama. Those are the four that you knew you were going to play. You're going to be overmatched going into the game. It's just it is what it is on that situation.
Yeah.
All right, let's hit some lightning around calls here right
The
now.
conference has been locked.
Okay. We got about 5 callers left. We're gonna hit them real quick. Let's get to as many as we can.
7947. You're live. Who we talking to? Where you calling from?
Hey, how about you, fellas?
How about you?
Not bad.
I like my toilet paper mullet style, Jay Lee, and no salt on my watermelon.
Hey, cut this guy off, man. Cut this guy off.
No salt. What?
Hey, by the way, did I tell you I tried that Tajin?
Do what now?
I tried that Tajin salt on my watermelon. It was pretty good. I think it's Mexican seasoning. Anyways, hey, who we talking to?
My name is Lance. I live down here close to Mobile and Loxley area, close to Gulf Shores.
All right, Lance from Loxley. What's on your mind tonight, big dog?
God's country.
Just a question, kind of something more to mill over. Is it Peyton or is it Montgomery on the play calling? And I say that because I know we all saw the same presser after Cal, where Hugh stated he called a couple of the plays in the winning drive for Cal. Maybe Montgomery, is there like any kind of built-in short passing game for Peyton to kind of warm him up or get him in rhythm? Because, I mean, we don't have anything in the middle of the field Saturday. I think the short passing game to adjust to the blitz would have been great, just to kind of get him in some kind of rhythm, because we were within field goal range I don't know how many times, and we just couldn't ever get anything going at that point.
It was noticeable. Cole, hey, Lance, appreciate your call, big dog. That's good stuff. Turn the toilet paper around.
Those would be your RPOs, Lance. That's what that's for. That's to take advantage of these blitzes and stuff. The problem was they were getting in. They were coming from the edges, and they were timing it right, and they were also playing very, very tight. Okay, so when you're doing that, the short passes, you take that away. Can't do it. You're going to throw a pick that way, and that is where you got to give credit to A&M, guys. They did a great job on that. They really did. That was a smart game plan.
Yeah,
took away.
They were bringing the corner down sometime.
They were bringing the corner down, so every time there was a read play, the quarterback was having to read 2 guys coming at him.
The end was crashing, and here comes the corner.
That's the problem. That's why it didn't work.
And the only way to back them out of that is to hit them on some vertical shot plays, and we just didn't do it. You know what I mean? If you hit a couple of those, hey, they're going to back up some, but they're going to play aggressive when you have the type of game that we had.
And to his first question, is it Montgomery or is it Thorne? Somebody is in our play script right now on Auburn Live and has broken down percentages of who I called whoever to blame. Thorne 13.9%, Montgomery 9.2%.
There you go. There you
go. How about that?
Good stuff. Good stuff, Lance. Good talking points, man. What you got there, Zach?
8861. You're live. Who we talking to? Where are you calling from?
Kevin from Wimmer, Alabama.
There he is. What's on your mind tonight, Kevin? Hey, Kevin, I meant to ask you, big dog, have you ever eaten at Hamburger King?
No, is it good?
It's in Wilmer, is it not, Cole?
Is there one in Wilmer?
Well, I mean, where's the Sykes and John's? Is that not in Wilmer?
Maybe. Not sure.
What's the name of that show? I mean, where they sell the boots, the cowboy boots and stuff?
Yeah.
Sykes and John's?
Oh, Sykes and Cons.
Sykes and Cons, yeah.
Yeah.
Sykes and John's.
That's what I said. Kevin, don't you live around there?
Yeah, I do.
Well, go to Sykes and John's and look at the Hamburger King.
Yeah, there's Hamburger King at Sykes and Con. Yeah.
Yeah, get you a Hamburger King, big dog.
How about the Marcus Reddick?
They ought to eat there too.
And Bryce Kane.
Bryce Kane. Cole, I went and saw Bryce Kane last week. DeMarcus Riddick was named Homecoming King of Chilton County. Did y'all see the photo, Miss Willie? posted on Twitter of, did you see the quarterback in the background looking at DeMarcus?
Yeah.
He was so disappointed. No offense, big dog.
Hey, Malik Blockton won homecoming king too at Pike Hill.
All right, Kevin. So DeMarcus, Cole, give us the latest on Bryce Cain, DeMarcus Riddick,
and Perry Thompson. Perry Thompson comes to mind first because he was at Texas A&M's game against Auburn, the home game, decked out in Auburn stuff, which is interesting.
Was he a visitor?
Yeah, I think.
Oh, that's not cool, big dog.
I don't know.
Cool.
I mean, I don't actually know. Was he on the field or I'm not sure.
But
I mean, he was taking pictures with Auburn fans right outside Kyle Field there, which I thought was very interesting. But
Kevin, that says a lot about a guy.
I think it does. And a lot of people were kind of worried about that, and I don't know. I don't think that's a worry. I think you're okay there. Yeah. Think of all the visits. If you're going to do that, that might be okay, right?
Did he really have on Auburn gear?
Oh yeah, man. There's tons of pictures.
Listen, I guarantee you that wasn't a recruiting visit. No way, because if Auburn, they would tell that guy that he can't come in with that.
I don't think it was actually.
No, I think he just went to the game, right?
Okay, yeah, right. Buy your own ticket, go. Yeah, okay, that's cool. But yeah, he's not a recruit. No way.
Because I checked the A&M site to see if he was a registered visitor, and I didn't see him on their list.
Cousin Fred in the comments says he was not on the field, so there you go.
Yeah, he wasn't a visitor. They wouldn't let him in. Yeah. Auburn has turned away people in the past. Showed up with Georgia gear on. They're like, no, you're not coming in here.
Yeah, they will do that.
And rightfully so.
You can go put it in your car. You can come back in here, or you can go. You can take off.
Yep.
And then I don't have much on the other two other than Bryce Cain has another excellent performance again this past week. So he is on the rise, guys. He is on the rise.
Can't wait to see those freshmen next year. It'll be fun.
Meant to ask Walker about Bryce and what he thought.
Hugh Freeze can't wait to see him either, Jeffrey.
I know.
Yeah, right.
Good stuff, Kevin. Appreciate you, big dog. Go check out Hamburger King, and they do not pay me to say that, so maybe they should.
That's the best hamburger, man. Hamburger King.
I got a big one last week.
I've been going to the downtown Hamburger King since I was a little kid, man. And it
is that the OG?
Yeah, the downtown Montgomery.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
And they'll make you a sandwich in the morning too on that same grill, on that same flat top, bologna, cheese, and egg, buddy. I'm not a big breakfast guy, but I love that.
Lord have mercy. I'm gonna have to turn my video off for a second.
Getting hot and bothered over here.
Talk to us, Zach.
2622. You're live. Who we talking to? Where you calling from?
This is the coach from just down the road.
The coach from down the road.
Here we go.
Oh, Coach C. How about you, Coach?
Everybody doing all right?
Yes, sir. How about yourself?
Considering yesterday, I'm doing pretty well.
Coach, I'm with you.
You making it, Coach?
Yeah, and our team's doing well, so I'm a happy camper.
That's right.
What's y'all's? Is it? Are you 4-0?
Oh, you have to ask that question.
I didn't know how many games you played. Could be 5, 6-0. I didn't know.
Yeah, they just put it on old Jeff Davis there Thursday night, I believe.
Yeah, it was really pretty sad.
Coach is from Phoenix City, by the way. Anybody listening that didn't know, Phoenix City Central to be exact.
That's right.
Hey guys, listen. I've talked to Coach Freeze, and nobody wants to win more for Auburn than Coach Freeze does.
I believe that.
He is really struggling with trying to be successful and do the recruiting he's got to do.
He does it a lot.
Been hands off compared to what he normally is.
Yeah.
In the efforts to do a better job recruiting.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just assure Auburn folks that Hugh Freeze wants to win, and they're going to get this thing figured out. But they figured a lot of things out against A&M. The play calling I thought was good. I think Pink was right on that. We had people open. We schemed them open. But we had poor execution.
Yep.
If the double move by Fair was hit, that's probably a touchdown.
New ball game.
We missed a pass to Fromm down the seam where he threw it 6 or 7 feet over his head.
Not even close.
That was going to be a big gain, not a touchdown. We missed a touchdown to Hooks in the end zone when we threw it to the inside. Should have thrown it to the outside. Those 3 plays right there changed the game, and there's where Jhead was correct. And when he said, you know, if we get some vertical plays, they can't play us tight. They can't take away that RPO game. They were just smothering us.
Yep.
And once they found out our quarterbacks were nervous and weren't hitting the passes, they were like ravenous wolves coming after them.
Very well put, Coach. Very well put.
Serviceable quarterback play would have been a different ball game.
And I want to give Philip Marshall credit because he said this, and I read it this morning. As bad as that game was, in the fourth quarter, we are throwing into the end zone to make it a 17-20 game. In the fourth quarter, as badly as we had played. So that tells you.
On offense.
Yeah, as badly as we played on offense. 50 yards passing at that point. We are throwing into the end zone to have an opportunity to make that a 17-20 game.
You know what? Check out the difference in the backup quarterbacks between the two teams.
Yeah.
Check out the quarterback depth. Now, see, Jimbo went into the transfer portal, got him a backup.
Well, and realistically, he got Max Johnson last year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Max Johnson was brought in to
he got beat out. That's right.
Yeah, he got beat out by Connor Wegman after he got injured last year. But, Coach, let's get back to you. You called in not to hear me talk. I promise you that.
No, you guys are fine. Listen, I do want to bring up an old coaching maxim. Okay, I think Nick Saban learned this after his first game at Alabama, first season at Alabama. It's not about the X's and O's. It's about the Jimmies and the Joes.
Damn right.
Yeah.
You've got to be able to execute the plays. I don't care if they're wide open. If you can't put the ball in their hands, that's what I told one of my OCs one time. Hey, guys, you're calling great plays against the defense they're running, but we can't execute that play. We've got to call plays we can execute.
And right now there aren't many of them.
That Thorne can execute them. I don't know what the problem was. I think they'll get the bugs out, but I was encouraged that they were able to scheme them open like they were.
I was too.
But one other thing, quarterbacks can't watch the rush and read the field at the same time. Can't do it.
Good point. Good point.
The O-line, by the way, was okay. They were not terrible. I saw one blitz where they ran a delay with the mic up the middle, and that was a pickup for the running back, and Hunter didn't get him till too late, and he just ran Hunter slap over.
Put Hunter in the back.
Made the sack.
Yeah.
I think I notated that one on the board, Coach. That was a bad one.
Yeah. And so, you know, every sack isn't on the offensive line.
Agreed.
They did some good things, and some of those holding calls were – I mean, I thought they were really bad, but
Coach,
I take that the way it is.
Sure.
But guys, I appreciate y'all. I want to remind everybody, if you want to see some really good football, go watch your local high school teams.
Yeah.
Good football around these parts, Coach.
Well, I've been enjoying some Friday night football.
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to that Enterprise Phoenix City matchup.
Ooh.
Appreciate you, Coach C. Always a great call.
You should be looking for that one because we've already beat the Enterprise. You're looking to play Dothan.
Okay, that's where I'm getting confused. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, they did.
They're going to try to grind it out and keep it away from us.
Take it to them, Coach.
We're going to do it. Y'all have a good evening.
Yes, sir. Big dog. Zach, keep us going, better dog. We got two more.
Last caller.
Last caller. All right, here we go.
4499. You're live. Who we talking to? Where are you calling from?
Hey, y'all talking to Jeffrey Lee's buddy, downtown Willie Brown from Chambers County, Bell, Alabama.
Oh, downtown Willie.
Downtown.
Yeah, guys, great show. I was just looking over the past, from 2017 about 2023, Auburn's had two offensive linemen they recruited, drafted. That's Prince Tega and Braden Smith. You had Jack Driscoll, who's a transfer from UMass. I mean, people got to understand the offensive line recruiting for the last 6-7 years has been horrible at Auburn. I mean, you win up front in any kind of football game. I mean, people got to understand you can have the best skill positions, the best, pretty boys. But look at Colorado yesterday. That shows you what offensive lineman, defensive lineman play does in college football. I mean, it's just that simple.
Yeah. Good point.
Braden was a JUCO guy. The only guy from high school ranks that has been drafted was Prince Tega. One person, one high school recruit. Downtown Willie.
Show you that. I mean, offensive linemen recruiting going to get better in the next 2 or 3 years. I mean, that's the only way we're going to improve this Auburn football team.
Listen, Willie, I was going to say this earlier, but to me, in my opinion, so I'm giving you two numbers. Nick Saban was 7-6 in his first year's #1 recruiting class in his first full class. Kirby Smart was 7-5 in his first season, #3 recruiting class. I think the second number in those sequence is far more important than the first. I think the second number come December now, with the signing period being in December, I think that number where Auburn finishes is going to be more important than if they're 5-7, 7-5, or 6-6. I think the most important number right now Auburn fans need to be tracking is that team rankings recruiting, where Auburn finishes in December and who they add thereafter. You talk about the Jimmies and the Joes, Auburn doesn't have them right now. And listen, you think about Mark Richt didn't leave Kirby Smart in an empty pantry. Mike Shula, of all people, had damn good recruiting classes at Alabama. So both of those guys, their first years in Alabama and in Georgia, I say those two because they're Auburn's two biggest rivals, and they're the two most successful programs in the country right now. But so they had a lot more, and here they are losing 6 games in their first year, losing 5 games in their first year, losing to Lyon Monroe, losing to Vanderbilt, losing to Georgia Tech for the first time in 75 years. And so here, this is a mulligan in my opinion, and I think the most important thing is look competitive. I don't want you to look like a bunch of idiots, which I think they did against Cal, and somewhat at A&M. Look competent, finish. Win the games you're supposed to, maybe get one, maybe put that 6-6, 7-5, and then finish strong as hell December the 20th.
Right. I mean, I think look at Florida State, right? Like, look, Mike Norvell.
Yep. What are you, 4 games?
Yeah, Barry said 3 games his first year. Granted, it was all ACC schedule, but 3 games. But it's so similar. Jimbo Fisher, at the tail end of his career, did not recruit the way he did in the beginning. Gus Malzahn did not recruit towards the tail end the way he did in the beginning. You have the Willie Taggart era at Florida State. You have the Brian Harsin era at Auburn. You know what I mean? That last 4 years before Norvell took over and before Freeze took over, the talent has just dwindled to the point that it's not where it needs to be, where it's sustainable for Auburn to win the way that the fan base and the way we expect. Look, the standard should never change, right? The standard of what Auburn is should never change, and fans should never change their expectation. But I would ask you to be reasonable in what they're able to accomplish in this first season. And 6-6 to me, 7-5, 6-6 has always been reasonable.
But you know what? In the process of all that, if you still want to call in and complain, I'm here for you, big dog.
Yeah,
I'm here for you. Listen, Auburn fans expect to win.
Yes, and you should.
Yep. Absolutely. Auburn fans get pissed when they lose.
And they should.
And they should. And that's what we're here for. Win or lose, big dog, call and let us know how you feel. And y'all have done a great job tonight, man. Great show. Appreciate everybody, man. Oh, Edward tried to get us started, but Mr. Ron said, take a back seat, youngin.
Hold my beer.
Yeah. Mr. Ron called in. Edward. Walker White, fantastic. I always appreciate when he gets in, man. He'll be on campus this weekend, y'all. It's going to be a big recruiting weekend at Auburn. That Georgia game, there's going to be at least 7 official visitors right now, dozens of unofficial visitors, 2024, 2025, 2026 is a lot of big dogs are going to be here. Walker White's going to be here to help entertain them, make sure they have a great time, try to get them to join him in this class. Eric from Sheffield, wore dank Nuggets Eagle. Alex from Moulton, Lance from Biloxi, Kevin from Wilmer, one of our favorite callers. Coach C called in big time, and then downtown Willie Brown finished us off, man. It was a fantastic show. We appreciate everybody. Let's see what we got coming up this week, guys. Monday, you and Justin gonna be on, Cole?
Yeah, we've already dropped the one for today.
Okay,
a couple hours ago, and then we'll have another one Tuesday, I believe.
Tuesday, and then we'll all be back Wednesday for a recruiting show. We're gonna have a lot to talk about on that show. Thursday or Friday, we'll have the modcast. And then Auburn's going to host Georgia 2:30, I think you guys said, 2:30 p.m. Central Time.
CBS. Man, is there a better sound in the world?
Anybody but Robert Griffin Jr. III.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. That was painful, dude.
I'll take him 10 times out of 10 over Beth Mowens.
I don't listen to her.
Cole, just do what I did and mute the sound and listen to Jason Campbell call a beautiful game.
If I had to, there would be no sound. Luckily, I was in the press box for that game. Didn't have to hear it.
Andy Burcham, I will take him 10 out of 10 over the large majority of what you hear.
Absolutely.
Real quick before we go, man, we were talking about restaurant straws. I'll give you my story real quick. All right, so it's post-pandemic, right? And so I'm not opposed to using a straw at this point, right? Me and my dad go eat Mexican. My dad's 80 years old, 81 probably at the time. No, I think he's just turned 80. And we're at the Mexican joint, and the lady brings us, sweet teas. And, hey, man, you want a straw? Goes, hell no, I don't want a straw. I ain't no sissy. And I was like, yeah, me neither. I ain't touched the straw since.
I bet not, man.
I'm like, give me the germ. All right, let's get out of here before I get in trouble. One more time, Jessica Andrus, if you're looking for a house in or around Auburn, Opelika, Lee County, give her a call. She's a 5-star realtor, man. Don't trust me. Give her a try and find out for yourself. Jessica Andrus with the Talents Group, 334-704-4442. Tell her we sent you. Look all week for content at Auburn Live on through. We've still got the first month for $1 going deal. It's going to be 50% off of annual subscriptions beginning tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that, man. This is the time to get in. We got all the team analysis, Cole. We've got recruiting, going to have a big weekend this weekend. So a lot's going to be going on. Auburn Live will have you covered. Thanks to everybody again for listening. Thanks to everybody for watching. We really appreciate y'all, man. For Jhead, for Zach in the back who came to the front, for Cole Pinkston, I'm Jeffrey Lee. Man, y'all stay that left lane.